anyways. So I think LFT, they're going to have a little bit more difficult of a time with this, given the fact that they are coming in with a new top laner short notice, and then also it's just the fact that they've got to kind of restructure their draft, which will make things a little bit difficult. Goon Squad will have a little bit of an additional challenge in that they don't necessarily know what Matrix is going to play, but they should still have an overall draft strategy, so a slight potential advantage for them as we're going to get predictions going in the chat here for you guys. So we'll start this one. Who's going to win? Game 1, you'll have a chance to gamble for channel points. So go hog wild. Someone was asking about gambling in the last stream for yesterday. As my music is just loading for some ungodly reason. I don't know why it's loaded. Fantastic. If it's not one thing, it's another. Really? You're going to fight me? All right, well, while we wait for my music to stop having a stroke, we're just going to briefly go through the bans. Vayne, Morgana, and Bessa taken off the board. LFT, they want to try and potentially hit that top lane pool just a little bit and see what they can come up with. I hate YouTube with a passion. I hate this company. I really do. I hate YouTube. I'm not a fan. So we'll just have to switch the song, apparently, because that will not stop us in draft. Silas going to also hit the ban board. Smolder, a champ. God, why? YouTube? Seriously? Jesus Christ. As Goon Squad, they're going to take away that Smolder. They're going to deny what has been a priority ADC pick for just about every series that we've seen at some point. This champion has had quite a bit of heavy play rate. It also makes sense. Like, it's a very, very good ADC. Quite a bit of scaling, great early game trading for the most part. Is, kind of just able to sit back, relax, and kind of farm things out as YouTube continues to have a stroke, and I hate this company. Try to give you guys good music, and YouTube doesn't know how to be decent in coding a website, but that's all right. We'll just continue on. And Renekton going to be the top lane pick there on the side of Goon Squad. Makes sense. They want to get the best possible matchup there, and also gives them some early game pressure. I fully expect something like potentially a Gnar or a Scion to come out here for LFT, unless Matrix wants to bring out something a little bit tricky. Renekton's that stable top lane pick that we see so often in professional play, and reason for that. And also the Ornn. How could I forget about that? I think a decent answer to the Renekton, honestly. Renekton has a little bit better early trading power, but that Ornn is going to be much more useful once you get to the late game. I fully expect to see them pair some scaling top lane picks alongside that. Or not, sorry, some other scaling team picks alongside that. Is Nautilus going to be added to give them a little bit more CC capability? So we're going to switch back to music and see if YouTube wants to cooperate now. And it appears that it does. So far, I like what LFT are drafting. They've got themselves quite a bit of tankiness, quite a bit of engage. That Nautilus follow-up is going to be really, really good with the Ornn. Let's just see what bot laner they'll want to put alongside that. There's a number of really good champions. Caitlyn is one of the first ones that comes to mind. But then there's also stuff like Dianara, which would be really, really good with the Nautilus. Jhin is another champion that comes to mind as far as a priority pick. But then they could just pair it with an AP bot laner. So you could go something like Brand or Veigar or Ziggs. Is the Kai'Sa going to be the pick away there from Goon Squad, so they want to deny that away, that easy combo away from LFT, which makes sense. You don't want to give over a power duel like that unless you have something ready for it. Which then obviously leads to the question, what Goon Squad want to play alongside that in a support role is Caitlyn. Pretty good pickup there. I like that. I like the not Caitlyn combo. I think it's very, very easy to play that in lane, even against potentially an Enchanter poking lane, like Goon Squad might want to draft for themselves. A couple of really decent champions that are available kind of in that support role to help kind of counter out the Nautilus a little bit. Obviously, you could go something healing-wise, so you could go a Nami or a Lulu. As far as the Enchanter, the Lulu is going to get banned away there. Soraka, another healing champion that we don't see a tremendous amount of, but is available. Or they could decide that they want to go a little bit more engaging. They could get themselves something like a Braum or a Leona. And then if they want something kind of in between, Melio would be a good fit there. Obviously, Seraphine also available as well in that sort of Enchanter supporting role. Rakan, also another champion that could potentially be paired with Kai'Sa, just doubling up on that mobility and making it hard to kind of lock the Kai'Sa down, having plenty of appeal. Plus, the quickness is great for a reliable engage, but they may want something with a little bit more reliable of a knockup, just to kind of help enable that Yasuo. There is a potential Diana angle here as well in order to help with that Yasuo. This also wouldn't be the worst Gragas angle in the jungle to set up Yasuo, but then Gragas support would also be cool, just as an easy knockup. And LFT, I like that Nocturne ban. That's signaling that they are aware that Goon Squad wants to kind of index it a little bit more into dive, and if you want to help kind of cover yourself with that, as far as covering off the angle, banning away that Nocturne makes that fairly easy in terms of making sure that there's not easy follow-up and that you don't have an aggressive level 6 jungler being able to just dive into a side lane. So I like that heads-up awareness. Potentially for Goon Squad wanted to take that threat. Excuse me. I hiccuped. And at least Evelyn going to be banned out by Goon Squad there. So LFT, they're going to be looking for a jungler and a mid laner. Fully expect them to lock in jungle pick here and save mid for last round. There's some really, really good mid laners available. Kennen going to be the pickup there. There could be a Kennen mid. I'd be very surprised to see that into the Yasuo, given the Yasuo's trading power. But Kennen, I think, is a slept-on pick. Normally, we're so used to seeing this champion in the top side, but maybe LFT, they want to get tricky and induce a little bit of hesitation in Goon Squad's draft and maybe counter some stuff that they were seeing in scrims. No way to know, but would like to see where this what this Kennen will do, sorry. As we get into game is Nunu and Willem going to be the jungle pickup there from Goon Squad, so that's the knockup that they needed, plus a fairly reliable jungler, has a lot of speed across the rift, very similar to Lilia, and that he's just able to have an incredible amount of ability across the map. He can set up for easy ganks, it's easy for him to farm, and doing neutral objectives solo, kind of sneaking those objectives is easier. So the question was what they want to lock in for support. Seraphine's still available. Lulu, Nami, Leona would all be great champions. Melio would be great as well. They could get themselves an AP laner, but instead, nope, they're just going to draft into what we don't see a whole lot of, the Thresh. In my personal opinion, I'm not really sure how I feel about that Thresh in terms of composition like this, just because Thresh is notoriously difficult to pull off in a large team comp like this, at this level of play. It's just the ease of execution is not as good as having something like a Nautilus, but it is an outplay champion, so if you're able to make it work, there's a lot of value in it. What will they want to lock in mid lane? As Lilia, sorry, in the jungle. So Lilia is going to get locked in to answer that Nunu, and both of these teams will get involved. But we're on to the Rift. Game number 1, Goon Squad looking for top. As it looks like our UI is going to be functioning this time, hopefully without any bugs. Cross our fingers that that will be the case.
Minions have spawned.
And right now, both teams just taking easy positions on the skirmish line. No one wants to index too far into one side of the map or the other. Except, of course, for the Renekton, who is sitting more towards that top side. And being cheeky, sitting in the brush, want to see if maybe he can get a nice little chunk trade onto Ornn Matrix. He's going to have, he's going to be on that Ornn duty, and it's going to be important for him to succeed there, because he's going to be a big part of LFT's late game capabilities as far as getting at those ornaments, and so making sure that he's on time to level 13 is going to be a huge deal, because then you're not delaying that important power spike that you get from those ornaments. Get lasered kid. Going to land a nice little hook and a little chunk trade onto Goon Master there. Oh, it's Flame Dude. Going to land a nice little death sentence, but no Flay to follow up, so no reason to take the recast of the QM. And I think big part of this game, let's see where these junglers want to get involved. Let's see where they want to start roaming around. They both have decent clears. Zilia obviously notorious for having a really, really fast rotation across the map after kind of that first clear camps. Once she gets to level 3, she really doesn't struggle all that much. Get Laser Kid. Ooh, falling very, very low. The heal going to get blown to keep Goon Master nice and healthy, which means they will have control over that lane. Lola feels putting himself in a little bit of danger standing underneath the turret, but will walk out. Not get turned, at least not yet, into a pair of crocodile shoes. It's interesting, this lane state in the bot side, because normally the Caitlyn Nautilus lane is just so oppressive. Flame Dude going to get hooked up and stunned. Not going to go down, but that will just be first blood going over to Goon Master. They're wasting no time. You want to get involved early in this game. First blood gold's going to feel pretty good, buddy. A nice little combo there as the Nautilus took the hook that he didn't really want. And Unfortunately, we're going to see that one all over again. So you see the positioning? It's fairly aggressive from both of them. Goon Master and Flash Dude really not under too much threat. Their health bars are really, really nice here. And then you're going to see... Not also, you're going to see him try and kind of edge up to the side here, knowing that the Thresh is going to work his way towards the bush. They have a ward there. Immediately thinks that he's going to go for the play, but there's no trap to extend the CC. And with that combination, especially with the additional death sentence, securing that CC, made it super easy for Goon Master to just follow up on that. Now, Hardcore, he's going to have to try and walk out of this one. Kill the Watermelon, going to cut off the retreat. Hardcore has nowhere to go, rather. Sorry, but the Fountain, Get Laser Kid, can only watch as his ADC drops in front of his eyes. And that's that early game onus that we were talking about. The junglers getting involved. I want to make sure that they put their stamp on this game. And obviously it'll be very, very nice for the bot side as Goon Master already up to 2 kills. He's not going to feel hard done by. He's going to be very happy. That's a Kaisa with a lot of early gold. He's going to have a nice back once they shove this wave out on the bot side. The LFT, they'll have plenty of chance to respond here. It's a nice little bowling ball thrown out. Jack Thy Ripper going to fall on the bot, mid side, but meanwhile top side. Matrix gets the solo kill on the low life feels. More effective in the trade. That's not going to be enough to make up for the gap that they're getting right now in this early game. It'll just be a little bit of commiseration prize. Let's watch the replay and see how that happens. So Jack the Ripper, he was already fairly low, and so that was just always going to be the signal for the Nunu to run up there and get a little bit of damage. And they didn't need a lot. They just need enough to tick him down. A tornado and just the ball landing would have been enough. And then on the top side, you see how Renekton, he steps a little too far forward, and then you see the bowling ball will come out just at the bottom of your screen, just enough to tag him up. The exhaust comes out, prevents him from getting away. And these two trades, they go down at the same time. Just playing on the margins and awareness for both teams on what they needed to do to get those kills. Early game advantage definitely in the Goon Squad's pocket. And they'll want to start this. They'll want to start their season off with a win. And to do that, you know, if you get 2 early series wins in a row, it leaves you feeling good. It'd be a great place for them to start. But a game like this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, even if the gold lead in the early game is a little not so fun to be experiencing. Just a little over, just 1k gold actually. It's not a whole lot, but it is something. And speaking of something, Matrix just had something fun happen. He's ticked over to level 6. Low Life Feels has now matched him. This is where Matrix needs to be a little bit careful because Low Life has access to the Dominus, and he doesn't want to get necessarily tagged up by that. Zornhorn, not exactly the most damaging ability in the world, even if he does have red buff. And at least in those quick in and out trades, Low Life Feels has the advantage. But the longer you trade with Ornn, then the worse it can get. So Low Life is, if he can just kind of start to recover on this lane wave state, my god. Oh, he's going to pop the Dominus Matrix. That was what we were talking about. Gets ignited, gets knocked down. The Crocodile going to pick him a pair of Ornn skin boots in that top side. That was the danger. Once Low Life Feels, he ticked over to that level 6, had access to the Dominus plus Ignite. It was always going to be enough damage. And so I think Matrix just playing a little too far forward there, at least more far forward than he wanted to, realistically. As he was trying to get control of that wave. And kill the Watermelon. Going to get his first kill, sorry, second kill of the game. Sorry, not to disrespect him. He got that kill in the mid lane onto Jack Thy Ripper. They're going to go transition this over to a Dragon Taint. Just a fairly stock standard play for them. And kill the Watermelon should have no problem doing this, even with just only having one person help him. But Goon Master, it's going to be nice and polite. Oh, you'd love to see it. He's going to go over there and help the jungler take the dragon just a little bit faster. That's what I like to see. Let's see. Let's see what Goon Squad can do with the rest of this lead. It's a little 2,000 gold lead. It's not a lot to write home about, and it's weird because the game state's kind of in this spot where it's not slow, but it's not fast either. It's kind of medium tempo, even though we already have 6 kills at 7 minutes, so almost averaging a kill a minute. But it's when they're happening and what's happening in between those kills as well. Is Jack Thy Ripper gonna get knocked down? That's the knockout we were talking about. Car Cancer though gonna be stunned underneath the turret, but should be able to get on out because Watermelon was eating up the majority of that turret damage. And the cannon ult not going to be enough to lock anybody down there for a return kill. It was Flash and Ignite expended for Card Cancer here. Ooh, Crossfire might be the next on the menu. Wants to avoid getting stunned up. Card Cancer didn't back, runs in, collects the nice and easy kill. And he's going to be advancing to 2-0 as well. Goon Squad, they've got LFT's number right now. They're doing really good with this early game lead. Like to see it. Get Laser advances himself a 1v1 versus the Yasuo. But Card Cancer should just be able to walk this out even without Flash. Oh, I might be a liar. Nope. That's a Portal Combat onto the mid laner. Yeah, half the health bar was gone, but you'll take a free kill when you can get it. Get Laser uses the Flash and the Ignite, but he does walk away. The Yasuo. Card Cancer, you're going to be wishing you just back, buddy. There's no reason to give over the kill. And any gold donated is wonderful gold right now for LFT. So it is going to be one Infernal Drake to their name. They can look to take the grubs anytime they want to. Cross Furies could look to try and go sneak those grubs before Killer Watermelon manages to get over there, but I don't think he's really going to try that. I don't think it would necessarily be the wisest thing to do, especially since Low Life Fields and Card Cancer have pushing prio in both of their lanes. It's guaranteed to get rotated on, but he might decide he's going to try it anyways. They have a ward on there, so they know that Killer Watermelons hasn't been there, and now they're looking on to a gank for Low Life Fields. He's going to pop the Dominus, flashes to avoid the Ornn Horde. This might be what he needs. Can he manage to walk away with a 1-for-1? Does go Drowsy. But he will come out of that. The question is whether or not they have enough damage to kill him. It's a 1-for-1 trade in that top side. Low Life going to be very happy with that. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Nautilus donated yet again. Goon Squad, man, they're killing it right now across multiple lanes. And Low Life feels he's not going to be upset about that at all. He got a kill in a 1v2, and he might even be able to get another one on the bot side. Hardcores gets flashed up, only to go straight into Watermelons. The Death Sense long range gets rooted up. Goon Master just a couple more autos, manages to get it. He's on a rampage. 4-0-1, the TLS server owner, showing he's not just a pretty face, but in fact he's got the hands and he's got the willingness to use them. Kill a Watermelon. He even got to harass the Nautilus just trying to come back to the lane. Flame Dude. Whoa, that Dissonance. If that had landed, that might have been a little bit awkward. Frost stack's not yet completely stacked yet, as far as the new is concerned. And Goon Master doesn't have all the plasma stacked yet, so they will just walk away. But I think a good play, and no need to be greedy there. They got what they wanted. They can look to get a back. And this next dragon, they'll be spawning in 1 minute and 30 seconds. In the interim, the grubs were taken after that kill on the top side. Low Life Fields when he got knocked down by Cross Furies. He did go and take those grubs, so they will at least have that in their pocket for some of what they're losing on the bot side, but that is just sort of a consolation prize given the way that the game is going right now. They'd like a little bit more than just some, discount chickens. Now, if in a couple minutes they can turn that into a Herald play, then that starts to change the narrative a little bit in terms of where they might be in that game, because if they're in a position to contest that Herald and even take it away, then that means that they're maybe in a little bit better position to contest not only neutral objectives, but also contest for turret plates and just damage in general, and in a team fight. So if they can go the next roughly 4 minutes and not drop too much more, or maybe even look for a pick and get eke some gold back, then that would put them in a nice state. And Rift Herald, it does a lot to soothe the ailments of being down gold. So having that nice little Void Monster run into towers for you feels pretty good. Get yourself some free turret plates, walk out with a little bit of money. You're calling it a day there. But this can be easier said than done, because Goon Squad right now, they are just not letting Hardcore have any chance to breathe. Goon Master is absolutely abusing his counterpart in this lane. And Flame Dude doing his part, making sure that he's executing on that Thresh. Those death sentences have been on point. And speaking on point, that Flash, not on point, not far enough to get away as he gets killed in the jungle. But on the top side, though, Low Life Fields just donated himself over, stood underneath the turret too long. But meanwhile, on the bot side, in the jungle, Laser Kid got nowhere to go. The Flay not even needed. It's too dead there. Goon Squad, they've got control of this area. Really nothing that anybody can do. It seems like every time the bot lane for LFT walks down there, they're just getting comboed instantly to death. And you know what's worse than getting comboed instantly to death? Getting comboed instantly to death twice on a replay. As we're going to see this one. So you see the bot side, this starts off, Hardcore just gets immediately hooked up, stunned up, so no ADC for this potential jungle contest, which was interesting that LFT wanted to even go down there at that point to try and contest for this. And then what happens? Cross Furies gets caught out, thinking, well, maybe I can steal away this scuttle. Tries to flash up, but gets caught just on the buffer of that ability, and ends up not mattering. And then the Nautilus is the next to go, but we're going to go back to live because we got another team fighting this bot side. Oh, this may be what Jack the Ripper wants. Manages to get the ult down onto the Kaiser. That's a huge deal to get that shut down. But Crossfairies has to get out of there now as Card Cancer has involved himself. And it does from below. Going to not really do much to stop him. And now Hardcore and Jack the Ripper just trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Get away from this Goon Squad. It's acting like a bunch of goons. They're walking around with a bunch of criminals. And all their gooning ways. So Goon Squad, even when they're getting caught off in some of these specific moments in terms of individual plays, looking at you, low life feels, getting caught in that top side. Yeah, they're still trading ahead. They've got 2 dragons. Herald's going to be spawning in about 2 minutes. Presumably, this is their game to run right now. And so LFT, they're going to have to try and buy time. Matrix is going to be a little ways away from reaching that level 13. He's got 2 more levels to go. And then he can start to dish out some of those ornaments. Oh, Hardcore, why are you here, man? No, 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 no. No flash. Destin's going to land every single time because why wouldn't it? Flame Dudes has been 100 for 100 as far as I've seen on those death sentences. And this Caitlyn can be nowhere in this lane with safety. As Get Laser Kid is just kind of forced to watch his ADC die over and over again and sit his minions get thrown into the turret. Oh, and Jack the Ripper now trying to get out of the mid lane, not able to do so. Card Cancer gonna be so happy to pick that one up. They're just winning. They're winning, chat. There's nothing anybody can do. Goon Master gonna get lasered. He says, "Hey, I don't want you to feel lonely. Go join your ADC in the fountain. You go hang out with him for a minute." Oh, is Crossfairy gonna get got here? That explosion doing quite a bit of damage. Manages to take away the red, but if it's all it is just a transfer. As Killer Watermelon walks away with that one. And LFT, they're not even safe on their own side of the jungle right now. Oh, Flame, this is disgusting. Oh, that death sentence was just a little bit short, as was the Flay. I was thinking maybe he could reach the Caitlyn. Oh, that's okay. They're going to get a turret for their troubles. And right now, LFT, they've got to find a way to try to break out of the state. As bot lane turret's going to get claimed. Flame Dudes is going to lay the Flay onto Tube. Manages to flash out. Goon Master also forced to flash. Was momentarily hit up. As Flame Dudes isn't hit by the Caitlyn ultimate, as Flame Dude manages to walk away. This should just be the donation over as far as the Thresh. Thresh giving his life. Oh, nice flash out from Hardcore, but no ultimate to follow up with here. Teleport going to be channeled here. Kennen wants to get involved with this fight, but Watermelon is here. Wants to split this up a little bit. Card Cancer going to get the ultimate to at least deny some of that CC in the beginning, but now Crossfairies is here. He wants to see if he can turn this around. Jack the Ripper manages to slay Card Cancer. The Ocelot down, and now Killer Watermelon's got to get the hell out of Dodge, but he goes to sleep. And Crossfairies making sure that TLS, or LFT, sorry, are able to capitalize on a misstep from GS. The Goon Squad overstayed their welcome there. They get punished, and that's going to swing some of that gold back into their pockets. We were talking about trying to make one of those moments happen. Well, LFT, they may have found a moment to make a moment happen as they're going to ping down onto that Rift Herald. No enemy jungler for the next 10 seconds, so they'll have plenty of time to put that damage in. I don't imagine Killer Watermelon is going to try and immediately run out to get to the Herald. He won't be able to make it in time by the time they get this down. Now, Goon Squad know that this is happening. Get Laser Kid is going to be here just to make sure that they have some additional safety. They're not going to risk it. And that Rift Herald will go down. All right, so LFT, one of those win conditions we talked about earlier in terms of getting back into it is Watermelon is here now. This may not be where you want to be, my friend. Nuno will have a very strong champion, but let's see what he can get done. As Fury is going to go down. Killer Watermelon going to channel the ultimate. Absolutely obliterates multiple members of LFT. It's a triple kill for Goon Master. Oh, give him the Quadra. No Penta available because the Caitlyn was hiding out in the mid lane, didn't want to get added, but Goon added one of our very few Quadras so far within the league. And then his season debut as well. Gotta give it to him. Let's see that play again. Let's see how that began to shape out. So Herald has gone down. The Crossfairies just trying to take the scuttle here, and it looks like this is a potentially misposition here from Watermelon. It's like, okay, you know, you're about to get donated into multiple members, but then what happens? The rest of Goon Squad manages to get over there, and a huge part of their damage in the jungler immediately gets blasted. So does the Kennen and the Nautilus, and it's faster than you can start to make your teamfight options available for LFT because, well, so many people are dead. Matrix gets donated on the end of that play. And so it's just Goon Squad being faster, being more violent, being more willing to hit the go button. And so as a result of that, they're going to get rewarded. LFT, though, they have an opportunity to eke back some gold here a little bit. They're going to slam the Herald into that mid lane tower, so they at least will have that ability to move through the middle of the map without being super harassed. Flame Dude, he wants to get on top of multiple people here. This may have been an aggressive pathing location as Cross Furies jumped forward to get the damage down on Hard Rock. I want to throw out the Caitlyn ultimate, make sure that that kill gets secured. Now, let's see what Goon Squad want to do. Is the camera's jumping all over the place. Goon Master. Now that the ultimate is down, Cross Furies is missing a lot of his damage, and he is just going to die in that 1v1 to Goon Master, who's 13-1-3 on the Kai'Sa. This champion starting to get out of hand. This player is starting to get out of hand. And the LFT CEO, the Grand Master, the owner of the server, whatever you want to call him, our friend, he's doing really good on the Kai'Sa, proving that he, in fact, knows how to play a little bit of League of Legends. Watermelons is going to be really, really fast in this top side. The ball misses, but that doesn't really matter. Matrix Senpai should be dying underneath this turret. Killer Watermelon doing a great job to sync up the turret, or tank up the turret damage, while Low Life knocked down the kill. And this should be their third turret of the game. Is going to run the minion wave in. And so now what little safety LFT had in that top side is going to be completely gone. And so they're going to have to be cognizant of that every time they try and move through their own jungle because, well, you know what it means when that top side turret is down? It means the Goon Squad, they can just play wherever they want. And that means that they can go into that jungle anytime they like. They can clear out vision, they can clear out camps, and they can clear out champions too if there's if they feel so inclined. Car Cancer maybe trying to look for an angle here, thinking he's got a little bit of help. It's 4 strong on the top side. Bot lane turret's going to be traded down for this pressure that Goon Squad are trying to establish in the top side, but it may be worth it. Oh, the flash straight into the death sentence. Or away from the sentence, rather. As it was the Nautilus flashing out of that one. And that hook, where he flashed, landed straight onto the Lilia, and that's not what you want. He sold his team for the farm. Or rather, sold his teammate for the farm. Here in about 40 seconds, this Baron going to spawn. Goon Squad, do they fancy themselves? They're doing a lot of damage on the Matrix. He's not nearly tanky enough to fight multiple members of the front line. Oh, he wants to throw out the ultimate, but Goon Squad on the backside eliminates him. He does resummon the Yorn Horn, but it just doesn't matter. The Kai'Sa kills him where he stands. And now Hard Rock and Jack the Ripper, they can only watch as they see multiple team members start to go down. The support at the top dead. And they may not even be safe underneath this turret. Oh, the knockup just enraged Car Cancer. Ult under the turret. He will be donated, but it doesn't matter. Goon Master picks up yet another one. Jack the Ripper flashing forward. Does trade for one. Death Sentence, though, is going to keep him in step. And Killer Watermelon slays him yet again. 7-1-5. Add to the score line. Goon Squad making sure that LFT doesn't feel safe even underneath their own turret. And now LFT, they're going to be in really, really dire straits because they're starting to be outmatched and outtraded in every instance that they're trying to look for a skirmish or a team fight. They're not safe in their own top side of the jungle. They're not safe really anywhere. And with the next dragon spawning in about 2 minutes, they are going to be forced to fight for this Chemtech soul. Now, the good news for them is that the Chemtech is not the most useful Drake in the world. It's okay, but it's still something you don't want to have to let go if you can avoid it. So their goal really is going to be to try and see if they can pick somebody before this team fight begins. That, or they want to try and get early control over this river and poke the entirety of the GS out before the dragon spawns. That way they can just take it for free. But right now, that's going to be a little bit of a pipe dream because Goon Master is just so strong on this Kai'Sa. Has 3 items completed. He's got that Gnasher's Tooth, the Kraken Slayer, and that Rage Blade. So not only does a tremendous amount of damage, but does it really quickly. Now, there is a ward here on this Baron. Goon Squad, could they be trying to bait LFT here? No one responding just yet. They are starting to run out. This Baron's starting to get low. Already down to 6,000 health. LFT, if you want to get involved with this one, you're going to have to start to move. Cross Furies, he's going to take Blast Cone over. Tries to smite it. Doesn't manage to do it. Kill the Watermelon on point with the smite. And now they want to try and walk this out. Oh, as the life heals, he's buying a little bit of space, but they need to walk out as it's going to be the depth charge used. But, oh, they manages to get to safety. Caitlyn ult knocks him out, even with somebody trying to body block, slips through the uprights. Goon Squad, though, they walk out with Baron on 4. It's not on the top laner, but they'll take that trade. Not the worst thing in the world for them. And meanwhile, on the bot side, they've got Car Cancer with Baron taking tower as these recalls are getting stopped. Multiple members of LFT not being allowed to back right now as they're just being harassed and beaten in this topside jungle. They're not being allowed to go anywhere right now. The recalls, as Jack the Ripper will manage to teleport out and get to that turret. He is going to have to abandon the rest of LFT, who are just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Car Cancer got quite a bit done with those Baron-empowered minions. One more shot would knock down that tower, but it aggroes onto the other minions, so he'll have to wait for another wave. And the recalls from LFT have now completed. So they'll be lucky to hold on to that bot lane turret, but they're going to have to secede other hard objectives across the map, including that mid lane turret. And that also means that they will be extremely late to this Dragon Blade. They're running out. They're so behind. They're having to go through all these other steps to try and get something. And yeah, there's not even going to be a contest. And now they may have overstayed their welcome. If you were going to be there, you should have been there earlier. And now this team fight not going to go their way. Matrix Senpai just trying to get a knock. It manages to do so. Stops Watermelon's ult. But it just doesn't matter because it's 3, 4, and 5 dead. Donated over to GS. A triple kill for Car Cancer. Goon Squad's mid laner. He's been all over the place. But the story has been Goon Master here on the Kaisa. And they have Baron-powered minions for another minute or so. Just a little bit over a minute. They can honestly start to end out this game. They're going to look for it. They're at bare minimum going to get the inhibitor and a couple of Nexus turrets. The respawn timers are somewhat short, but the question is whether or not it'll be in time because it's still a significantly long amount of Baron time, relatively speaking, here on the Goon Squad. They're rushing it down. They've made a decision. They want to end the game here, and the respawn timers just won't matter. Couple hits into the Nexus and a little bit of a hip cheerio, and they've got their first win of the series. Goon Squad 1-up over LFT. And let's see what LFT wants to try and take away this time. The good news is that they don't have to play those exact same champions again. The bad news is they've got to figure out what Goon Squad wants to play in this series, which is always easier said than done. Because who really knows what goes through the mind of a Gooner? Not me. Could never be me. An outstanding individual. But LFT, let's see if they can put a draft together that they can pilot. They had an easy to execute draft in that last game. The problem was they just never were allowed to pilot it. Goon Squad did a really good job of putting the crunch to them right from the get-go. And at the word start, they were getting lane advantages, and Watermelon doing a great job being mobile across the map on the Nunu and the Willump, and making sure that no specific lane felt that they were ever safe to push. It kind of felt like he was everywhere all the time. As some of these bans going to stay consistent, Jinx and Silas going to remain the bans for LFT. Smolder and Morgana still going to be banned away by Goon Squad. I still think that Smolder's a good ban. I think so many teams have looked to play this champion. I think so many champions like this, or so many players like the safety that it brings, plus the infinite scaling that it has. And plus you have a mid break on the 225 mark as far as the stacks are concerned, so it makes it easy to get some kill threat onto members of another squad once you've healthily farmed yourself up to that point. As YouTube, another great company who can't stop memory leaks on their own website, has once again paused my music because it's loading. And so we'll just go through the final bans. Vayne and Ambessa also going to be taken away there. So the bans stay largely the same through the first round. As LFT, what do they want to draft? What priority do they want to put in their draft in terms of lane? I really think they need to try and get themselves a strong bot lane. They need to have a better chance in that bot lane than they did the last time, and I think that'll be key to potentially winning this game. I think Goon Squad was just allowed to absolutely run that lane, and because there was so much jungle pressure there, they got out to a really, really early lead that LFT never really recovered from. But Ari going to be the pickup there by LFT. YouTube is just a horrible website. I really hate YouTube, and I really hate how aggressive that their problems are with this website. I digress. Goon Squad, they'll have a chance to counterpick this at mid lane. They can save it until the very last moment if they choose to do. Ari has a number of decent counters. The Mel's still available for Goon Squad there. So interesting to see if they'll want to pour that. But nope, instead they're going to go sustain. They're going to put that Vladimir as the matchup there in that mid lane against the Ari. It's not the worst. I think it's decent. As I'm just going to switch to a different freaking song since this is just going to fight me. Okay, or YouTube just can continue to be terrible. I guess we don't get any music. Thanks, YouTube. Great company. And Nocturne, going to be yet another spooky, scary champion added to the Goon Squad list there. Vladimir Nocturne. That Nocturne was banned away in the last game. Made a lot of sense. Just because they didn't want to have to deal with it. But now they choose to pick it for themselves. So that mid-jungle matchup going to be secured by Goon Squad. And Elise going to be the answer to that Nocturne, so being able to at least utilize some invincibility frames and go up into the air and not be potentially tagged up by anything. It was interesting that the Elise was even banned in the last game at all. I thought it was kind of interesting because it's not a champion we get to see a lot of. Good jungle pressure as well, I think. So interesting to see how they want to pilot that champion. And it's interesting that Ari and Elise have been drafted together just because of the amount of CC they have. They have some cool interactions in terms of how they can set up in skirmishes and team fights. So we'll see how LFT... we'll see what that Nun pick is. Is that Nun pick is being called out as Lucian. Just going to try and freaking restart this YouTube tab because YouTube doesn't know how to code a website. So it has a permanent memory leak. So that Nun pick is going to be the Lucian. No support yet paired alongside it. And Shen going to be the pickup at the top side for Goon Squad. So utilizing a couple of global ultimates, which is nice for them. And now the second round of bans going to come through. Some different priorities. Top, mid, and jungle secured for Goon Squad. ADC, mid, and jungle secured for LFT, so they can start to try and ban these things out. Goon Squad, you can try and deny some of those natural supports away from the Lucian. One of the first ones that comes to mind, obviously, is that Nami. That's that natural 1-2 combo that you see so many times with that champion. It just makes a lot of sense to play it. Lulu going to be the pick away there. They don't want anything that will potentially polymorph that Lucian and prevent his damage. I guess we just don't get music because YouTube doesn't know how to code a website. Fantastic. Yumi hitting the ban board alongside the Nami. And Yunara going to be the ADC takeaway from Goon Squad. Interesting that that was the denial rather than some of the other champions that might have been available. The ADCs have been pinched a little bit so far. The Vayne, the Yunara, and the Jinx have all been taken away. At least some decent picks, though. A couple of other ones. I mean, Tristana's still available. Not a champion we see a lot, but would be decent in the LFT composition. Ezreal's still available, as is the Ashe. Seraphine actually would be really good into the LFT composition, but it is going to be the Misfortune pickup for Goon Squad. No Nautilus, no Thresh to pair alongside of that, so curious to see if they try and go the Leona along with it, or maybe even pair the Seraphine with the Misfortune. Not the worst thing in the world is because the Encore bullet time composition is actually, or combination is actually really good. It almost all but guarantees that full damage combo on the Misfortune when you use the bullet time. As Braum going to be picked up there. I like that. Good last-minute adaptation to make sure that they can deny as much damage as possible. It's really only useful into the Misfortune and potentially a Seraphine if it gets picked here, as far as stopping those frontal ultimates. But it is better that than nothing. It also does pair fairly well with the Lucian, who can efficiently stack the Braum Frozen Stacks passive. Now the top side, LFT. They know that they're going to be taking a potential winning matchup here, and they will draft the Trundle to counter the Shin. I actually like that. The tankier that Shin builds, the more damage the Trundle gets to do, the more survivability he has with Chomp. And it is going to be that Leona paired alongside the Misfortune. As we called out earlier, it makes a lot of sense. That's a great combination. Just aggressive engages into the Braum as well, so you kind of get a winning matchup there. Plus, Misfortune is able to do quite a bit of damage. We'll have to see what Goon Squad can do. LFT now on the blue side, Goon Squad now on the red side. Game number 2, first series for both of these teams. We're on to the Rift. It's lights out and away we go. It's the red side and the blue side. They don't mix like paint, unfortunately. They don't like each other. There's no fun colors that get made there. The only colors that both these teams want to see is the other team getting gray screen. See if there's any aggressive level 1s here. Car Cancer going to be eating up just a little bit of damage, but not too much, as Goonmaster returns the favor onto the Braum. It's a trade of wards, a trade of abilities, a trade of some health. And other than some nasty looks, not much else going to be traded over. We see a little bit of an invade there from Watermelon. Is this going to get spotted out? And unfortunately, Crossfurious is not necessarily starting on the right side of this, so he will just have to go ahead and finish the Raptors. And then is pinging that he fully expects to run over to the blue of Watermelons. So this will just be some lateral jungling here. This will just be some cross-map jungling for both of these champions. And both... so actually, Killer Watermelon only going to stay to get the blue buff, not going to deny any of the other champions. Interesting to see whether or not Cross Furies will actually try and deny all 3 camps on that side if he has enough time. Interesting to see when that Watermelons actually spots this out, because this would be really awkward if he only steals the blue buff and then goes to try and clear his top side camps and then comes down and everything on the bot side is gone, because outside of losing the buff, which really Crossface is not going to lose much on, is, oh, Matrix though, getting a lot of damage on that Shen early on. But outside of like losing, just having to trade buffs, like it actually wouldn't be the worst for Cross Furies here. So if he can get these, if he can get this Gromp and get these wolves efficiently and then path down to his own bot side, he's going to be sitting very pretty. Because it would force Watermelons to have to walk all the way back towards that top side jungle. And actually, if you're Cross Furies, you could really do something cheeky here and go towards that top side. You could actually just take a recall and run out towards your own top side and get your camps and then go path bot. That would actually be fairly efficient, and then you could look for a potential gank or even a scuttle on the way out. Opportunities for him. Like, this is as interesting as this looks to kind of get that early trade of buffs on opposite sides of the map. For Watermelons, this actually could be really bad, just based on timing, because he's going to come down there now and he's going to see that all of his camps are gone. Now, he will have assumed that it was only the trade for buffs and wouldn't have assumed that the Elise would have taken everything. And so now he's going to, go through there and discover that all of those camps are in fact gone. And Cross Furies is going to just immediately clear out his own red buff, go to his Krugs, and then look towards his top side. The trade-off for this is Watermelons could potentially go ahead and get both scuttles in the timing if Cross Furies does take a recall here. Ooh, no, he's going to go try and check out this scuttle. This is some interesting pathing from both these junglers right now. Is there going to be at least seeing each other and fight potentially over this? Cross Furies, his character marble jumped forward a little bit, so we did see that he did in fact go into the repel. So now we'll just walk on up there and go get the other scuttle. The Cross Furies is spotted on a ward, so there's no chance that this gank should be working. Ooh, I'd love to know what happened to this top side. Lobai feels back mostly to fairly good health, and Matrix now on the opposite side of that trade. Interesting to see what happened to the interim, what was going on in that top side. Wonder if perhaps he got a little bit too close to a turret. Made a couple turret shots, because now Lobai feels looks like he has control of that lane. And we've been waxing eloquently the junglers, but across the map there hasn't really been all that much more going on. As both the top, mid, and bottom for both these teams is fairly quiet so far. This is already a much less bloody game at 4 minutes than we had in the last one. By this time, we were already had about 4 or 5 kills. We were close to trending a kill a minute at about the 7-minute mark. Watermelon is potentially looking for a kill angle here, but Jack the River just should be no problem. He's fairly close to that turret. It'd be really difficult to gank him, especially given the fact that he has access to everything but his ultimate. And yeah, this is what we were highlighting earlier. So Watermelon, he's walking through and seeing that there really are no camps for him to steal, so he's going to have to take the long pathing back towards the stop side and go clear out his own Krugs. And this really isn't the most efficient use of his time. You kind of just want to have your head down farming your own camps. And so this is one of those situations where actually invading on the opposite side has actually really not helped him all that much, especially as a Nocturne. You know, you kind of want to have early access to that level 6. It's rotate through your camps a couple of times, make sure that you're getting as efficiently a pathing as you can. You know, get that early scuttle, go back to your camps, and have early level 6 so you can start to gank lanes. And he's going to be a little bit delayed in that, as Cross Furies has the level advantage over him on that level 5. And so because Cross Furies has been so efficient in the jungling, and because he got more of those camps, it means that he can be a little bit preemptive in terms of positioning for where Watermelon wants to be on that Nocturne, knowing that he's going to try and gank the bot lane, because that's really the only spot you're looking for, unless Jack Thy Ripper was for some reason hyper overextended forward, in which case that would be an easier gank on Jack Thy Ripper. Although as long as he still has charges of the ult, it's hard to run him down. So really it's bot side for Watermelon as far as wanting to gank. Now, he is going to be presented an opportunity here very, very soon, just with how aggressively LFT is positioning right now. There are wards, but not necessarily on top of him. They can guess his positioning just based on the camps that he's taken and where he's been. Is Matrix not yet going to use the ultimate yet? Wouldn't get a whole lot for it right now either, just because Lobai feels only has the shield. Gets momentarily taunted up. Lobai feels, can he start to win this? Has to flash out. Matrix used the ultimate now. He has to wait it out. And then once it does, he can potentially look for another trade. But couldn't afford to stand any closer to that Trundle based on the damage he had. Both these junglers are going to be getting close to ticking over to level 6 here soon. And Goon Squad, they're trying to keep aggressive visioning to make sure that they can set up for this potential gank in the bot side. There's no forward vision for LFT at all. So nothing deep to know when and where this Nocturne might gank. And so he's going to pick up this buff, and I think should tick over to level 6 once he gets this buff. If not, he can go soak up a little bit minion XP by sitting in a bush in the bot side. And yep, does tick over to level 6 after the buff. And so now that gank threat is available. He doesn't have really all that many items as far as making use of it. He wasn't spotted on this ward, and unfortunately, the Lucian stepped just a little too far forward. Is going to pull out the flash from him, though. And Kill the Watermelon isn't getting stunned up just yet. Already got that one out, and the first blood yet again, and going over to Goon Master. The bullet time over the top. Wasn't the cleanest gank, wasn't the flashiest, and wasn't the most well thought out. But it was preempted by Hard Rock and Get Lasered, stepping just a little too far forward. And unfortunately, the Braum going to be donated there. And honestly, lucky that both of them didn't drop. Lucky that they actually had the summoners to expend to get underneath the tower. But that will be a fairly poor consolation prize for giving over First Blood and giving over potentially a dragon here. Although, as I say that, Watermelon decided to go path back towards topside, not take his recall. And Get Lasered here. Wants to get aggressive, would like to start to chip at the health bars a little bit of Goon Master and Flame Dude. That way this potential gank from Cross Furies is a little bit easier to execute, but as long as that ward is in that tri-brush on that bot side, it should be more difficult for LFT to ever actually get that gank off. And so yes, as long as they're responsible with their position, they should be okay. Now, Matrix is happy to take this trade. Chomp is a hell of an ability to keep yourself healthy. A low life, recalls the sword, walks underneath the turret, doesn't have teleport to get back to lane. So we'll just have to take the long walk of shame. Or, if he is so inclined, could call in his jungler, who doesn't have access to the ultimate. Ultimate cooldown's not that short, so he won't have it available for this potential fight, but he's fed all the way in, and this may not be the trap fully sprung. And Matrix, he may not even need Nocturne to help come in there and help kill him, because Lowline Feels just stunned him underneath the turret. Sorry, taunted him rather underneath the turret. And a little bit of galaxy brain there. Insert the think Mark think meme. If I'm allowing you to be sucked all the way underneath the turret, then it's probably bait, which means you should probably just walk away. So Low Life Feels didn't even need the Nocturne help there. Is Polar Flare going to miss a little bit there onto the Braum. Meanwhile, though, on this top side, Car Cancer. Oh, not where you wanted to be. And now he's going to start to put the damage in. The Ari not able to get away. The flash, the ult, everything expended just to buy some space. And Goon Squad was a little bit of a quieter early game, but now they're rocking and they're rolling. Grub's going to be going straight to their names. We're going to see that one in a pre-play and see how that fight got started off. And this will start, you'll see in the bot lane, Goon Master and Flame Dude, they're trying to be a little bit aggressive in terms of how they're trading. And just trying to make sure that they can try and get something down. Get Laser jumps a little bit forward, and that was kind of the signal for the ult to come out from the Leona here on top of Lucian. It does miss, but they're able to buy some space. Meanwhile, on the top side, though, this is just a pure overextension from Crossfuries, who thought he had a little bit more health than he did, and that baited Jack to come in straight to his death. The kill donated straight over to Car Cancer, 1-0-1. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to live because it's a flash out. Oh, as Hard Rock just trying to get away. Flame Dude wants to see if he can get a stun. Goon Master with the flash forward, the auto, the Q, enough to knock Lucian and send him straight out into the dirt. And we were talking about how difficult it might be to play potentially into the Lucian and the Braum because of their early trading power, but Goon Master says, to hell with you and your prediction. I'm just going to kill you. Oh, Get Laser. He's got to watch his positioning. Either needs to be completely underneath the turret or needs to back all the way off, and unfortunately, staying underneath the turret is not an option. But what might be an option is Cross Furies coming down to gank this, as Matrix implied, just trying to survive, dies in the 1v1, Low Life Feels puts him right in his place, sends him back to the gray screen, and that Elise gank that we were potentially alluding to, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen because, unfortunately, Goon Master and Flame Dude a little too healthy for that gank without some support. And Cross Furies, I think, making the right call to not try and get aggressive and gank either of those, because that would just be him dying, even though he does have access to the repel. It's just not really what you want to do when those two champions are so strong. Yomu's Ghostblade completed for Goon Master. Wants to utilize that extra movement speed to get on top of that Lucian. Wants to access that assassin-y power that comes with an item. And also just a pure execute that's available to Misfortune. She just starts to stack this damage. Get lasered. Uh-oh! That's not where you want to be. Solar Flare, yet again, committed to the Lucian to try and lock him down, but he scurries on out there like a little rat. Makes sure that he doesn't get tagged out. Leads this support to die. And Flame Dude going to be even putting some aggressive vision as a reward for their hard-earned efforts. And so far, this has been all Goon Squad all day. And now it may be Lucian dying in this bot side. Gets stunned up. Watermelon able to walk away. Goon Master, the one taking up the turret there. Not sure that that's the guy that you want eating all that turret damage. But hey, someone tanking it is better than no one tanking it. Because that's not possible for nobody to take a turret when you're diving like that. And so, at least it wasn't the Nocturne who was there to make sure that the kill got secured. And right now, I got to shout out Goon Master. I've been saying his name a lot, but he has been absolutely on top of both of these matchups. He's been playing really, really well, and he wants a MVP of his own. Low Life feels flash forward with the auto and the taunt in a range of Matrix. Ooh, that was disgusting. That's a replay worthy in just a second as Car Cancer trading very aggressively with Jack the Ripper. But remember, Car Cancer's got pretty good health sustain. You can look to turn that around, as I want to see a replay of that. That top side, you can see them. They were trading fairly aggressively earlier. Matrix realizes he needs to back all the way off, and the Shen just fakes him out a little bit. No, I'm just farming minions. No, I'm just gonna shove the wave. It's okay. And Matrix like, okay, well, I'll receive this wave underneath my turret. Low life, it gets the level up. And then you see him just start to get a little bit close there. Flash auto taunt. Ooh, he's quick with it. Got the fingers. Go to with the Saza. Ooh, Car Cancer. Ooh, Deathfire graph slowly ticking away, but he doesn't die. Ho, 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 ho. Jack the Ripper going to be itching, knowing that that was a really close kill. One auto would have done it. We're going to fix the mini-map there. Oh, so tantalizingly close to getting LFT's first kill in that game, in this game. And yet so far, when you try your best but you don't succeed. When you get when you get nothing, and certainly not what you need. And life goes on for the rest of LFT. And life goes on for Goon Squad right now, as they are gooning all over Get Lasered. Solarflare yet again going to be trying to commit it to the Lucian, who has been expertly dodging these. And now Jack the Ripper's here. This might be a play going against them. Goon Master, meanwhile, going to dodge the charm. Flame Dude's going to be the sacrificial lamb. Living for a long time. The exhaust needed to be committed there just to lock him down. Ooh, do they fancy themselves a die? Jack the Ripper not landing. Oh, the Stand United going to be put over. Cross Furies, who just almost gets deleted one shot. Very close by Goon Master. Stand United buying so much space. Now for him to live there. Cross Furies. Oh, flash forward. They do manage to get him. Is that Stand United was stopped by Matrix Senpai with that pillar, so managed to knock him off and not complete it. That's why we didn't see him down there. And that's what prompted them to go continue for that play on the bot side. But meanwhile, Car Cancer, there's a price for everything, and for every kill there is a season, and for every season there is a time to sacrifice a turret. As Nocturne's going to turn out the light. Not sure he was going after her. It was the Elise who was trying to hide in the rafters. But the Nocturne comes up there and was like, hey, what are you doing? Get out of there, spider. We don't want any spiders there. Goes up there with a broom and knocks him down. Uh-oh. And now Hard Rock, he may be the next donation there. Zephyr's going to go off underneath the turret. Oh, does manage to dash away. Watermelon going to eat up a turret shot and walk away. So a little bit of a response there from Goon Squad in that bot lane to make amends for what was just done to them. As Flame Dude fully running Get Lasered, who's trying to stay underneath this turret. Some reason, Watermelon just stayed underneath the turret and ate a bunch of shots and died. So that kill's going to get donated over. That shouldn't happen. That's a bit of an ouchie there. And now Teleport's going to be channeled by Matrix Senpai in this bot side. Oh, flash forward, hardcore. Make sure Goon Masters get punished. Thought that he was going to have the aggressive play, and it gets turned right back around. Uh-oh. Low Life feels he's committed fully to make sure that that kill gets knocked down. Flame Dudes doesn't even want to do anything. Looked like maybe he was going to help, and he's like, nah, fam, you're on your own on that one. This Flame Dude's just trying to walk underneath the turret. All right, LFT, we see you. Trying to make plays down there. This Goon Squad, they get punished for their reckless over-aggression. But with that being said, even still with those kills coming through and that shutdown gold going over, it is still about a 3,000 gold lead for Goon Squad. Most importantly, Car Cancer has been left to his own devices for quite a hot minute now, and it's going to be Nocturnal ulti. Channeled yet again. The second dragon goes down to LFT, but it's just a poor consolation prize because they're going to be losing this team fight. As the Elise comes back down the other side of the wall, opposite side of the wall, Card Cancer now wants to get on the backside towards Jack the Ripper. Has plenty of damage to do it, but it's not. It's going to be Goon Master rather that steals that one away. Now Matrix and get lasered. They're just trying to see if they can collect something on the backside of this. Killer Watermelon trying to get underneath the turret, but gets pillared. But now the Shin has gotten involved. Card Cancer, Goon Master, they have quite a bit of help, but Hard Rock is doing a really good job of stacking this damage. Taunted up, double kill! Traded back and forth. Card Cancer playing on a razor-thin edge with the health bar. Manages to stick it out. Low Life feels riding in like the cavalry to the rescue. And now they're going to grab this mid lane turret. That was such a long team fight. A lot of stuff getting traded back and forth. So let's see that one again, see how that goes down. So in this bot side, you see that it goes for so long. Killer Watermelon is just running for his life. And the Hard Rock manages to get there in live. At least gets the shutdown onto Card Cancer. And so those two go down and say, oh, you're thinking, okay, Goon Squad, you're kind of caught out here. This is really not looking good for you. But Low Life feels respawns just in time, runs out just in time to help secure the double kill. It's a fantastic fight. But it just shows how thin the margins are for Goon Squad, even with this lead that they have. The LFT, they're staying strong, they're finding kills, and they're starting to rapidly accelerate themselves back into this game. They've got 2 dragons to the name. This gold lead's going to start to mean a little bit less, and they're getting shutdowns onto multiple members of Goon Squad here, specifically Card Cancer and onto Goon Master. And so Goon Squad, they have to realize that this game is not 100% free. LFT, they have really good tools to fight back. And this Trundle will slowly start to become more and more of a problem. But you know what's easy to do is it's easier to solve problems when you've got friends. And Matrix, as a problem, has been solved, at least temporarily. That problem will respawn itself in about 30 seconds. As Goon Master pops the Omu Blade to get a little bit of speed, but it may not be enough. Standing Knight is going to provide additional shield, and now Goon Master fancies himself and says, wait a minute, now it's my turn. Used all your stuff, now I get to use mine. Low Life Field tried to flash forward to get the taunt on Illusion, but that did not go off. Get laser throws down the Fissure just to buy some space. And Goon Squad, they invest just a little bit to force off multiple members of LFT. Jack the Ripper wants to see if he can lock down this Misfortune. Rolls the ultimate only by a little bit of space. Is living for now, but does get collected. And now Goon Squad may have found themselves on the wrong side of the mid lane. Low Life feels trying to create space wherever he can, but it's just him and his support. The turret's going to get destroyed in the bot side, while this never-ending team fight in the top side continues to go on forever and ever and ever. It's like the never-ending story, only there are no cool dragons and there's no happy ending. It's just people going straight to the gray screen. And for some reason, Crossfairies is now fancying a potential Herald take. But this is going to get stopped. Low Life's going to stun up, or taunt up rather, Matrix, and gets donated as a kill because of it. And so now what might have looked like a risky Herald play is now just free. They've got plenty of time to take that. So that looks a little bit awkward there for the top laner of the Goon Squad. You don't want to be giving those over for free, and especially not to people like the Trundle. And for LFT, it really does feel like their win capability, their chances of winning this game are off the backs of Matrix and off of Jack the Ripper. And Crossfairies too. Crossfairies doing a really good job in helping burst out some of these champions and set up damage, but really you're looking at that Trundle to become this hard-pushing, scaling late-game threat that will take multiple people to respond to. Credits over credits due, though. Goon Squad, they've done a really good job in overloading that lane and making sure that Matrix just doesn't have all the time in the world to get alone time with the turrets and to just farm away. But it will slowly become harder, as that's going to be Crossfairies going into the Repel. Meanwhile, though, that's going to be the Lucian. Oh, forced to flash over to the wrong side of the red buff. Goon Master going to get stunned up. They want to knock down the Misfortune. They're able to do so. Hard Rock now wants to find his way out. Keeps trying to find space to work with here. Card Cancer gets absolutely dereted by Crossfairies. And uh-oh, Goon Squad. Oh, this may be the way back into the series right now for LFT as they're starting to run these team fights. Crossfairies was donated, but you'll be happy to take that if you're LFT. That's a huge team fight win as Dragon's going to be spawning in about 30 seconds. They don't even need the jungler for that. They can just look to take that with Matrix Senpai. Oh, Goon Squad, this is not what you wanted. You're giving the gold over to the worst possible champions. You're starting to make this game a lot harder. And part of the problem has been that Goon Squad just haven't been synced on when they want to make these plays. They've been a little spread out. Now Killer Watermelon, he may be on absolutely the wrong side of this. And in fact, he'll be lucky to get one. Stand United going to come out. Will they manage to actually fully channel that? They will. It's going to be channeled on to... Oh, it's going to channel on to the Ahri. What else can they get as the Herald will summon in the top side. And now Matrix, he's finding himself between a rock and a hard place because they know his positioning. Goon Squad knows position. Kill a Watermelon, though. He wants to live as long as possibly can. He wants to get on top of the Lucian, potentially knock him down. Spell Shield just to buy a little bit of health to work with, but it's not going to matter. Hard Rock kills him. Now low life feels. No follow-up right now on his engage, but the help has arrived. Goon Squad and Carcancer are here, and just as we praised LFT for winning a fight, they try and go take a fight near the dragon, and it gets turned on them. Goon Squad, they find an opportunity out of nowhere because they make it in what looked like a scattered 1v1 fight. Just instantly gets turned on. As Carcancer just face tanks all of Hard Rock's ultimate and is going to try and kill him underneath the turret. Goes into the pool and does manage to get out from underneath the turret. But will he get run down? Multiple people of LFT want to make him pay for it, but they will not be given that opportunity. Oh my god, Carcancer on that Vladimir is terrifying. 7, 2, and 4. Has that Rift Maker, has the Cosmic Drive. He's going to be completing a death cap here soon. And that's the champion you got to start to watch out for, because this Vladimir will run away with team fights if he's not checked. If you're talking about trying to keep Matrix Senpai at least locked down somewhere where he's not able to become this absolute monster of a threat in the late game, you're looking at Carcancer and you're looking at Watermelon to keep him in check, to continually attack this champion in the side lane. Matrix Senpai with 2 items has that Titanic Hydra, or sorry, the Ravenous Hydra, has the Trinity Force in pocket. Goon Squad, they still got themselves a little bit of a gold lead, but it's going to start to matter less and less as this game goes on. We're only at the 22-minute mark, so this is still fairly early in the game. And Carcancer was the sacrificial bait. I say sacrificial lightly. He was just the bait to pull Matrix Senpai forward. They're going to commit 3 members just to make sure that they get him, and they're going to be well paid off for that. Now that's a trundle that they don't have to worry about, which means some of this pushing power that LFT have been building is, at least for the next 30 seconds, going to be nullified. Do they fancy themselves a Baron? That would be a hell of a call. Manages to get on top of the Lucian. Now Solar Flare going to be committed. They lock down 2, but where's the follow-up? Goon Master doesn't want to commit too far forward because he doesn't want to get deleted by Cross Furies on that Elise, who wants to kill this Misfortune, wants to get this Misfortune out of the fight. Jack the Ripper teleporting in. Carcancer, though, he's gotten a decent flank angle, but now he's got to get back towards his team. He's not going to have the pool to go into anymore. Is trying to sustain, but is slowly being whittled down. Jack the Ripper pushes forward to make sure that they secure him. But so far, it's a 1 for 2 right now, and Goon Squad, they like those odds. Crossfire, he's going to go into the Golden Stasis. He's going to try and go to Repel, but he's got to come back down sometime. It doesn't manage to live. 4 dead for the side of LFT, all just in time for Matrix to come up and see the rest of his team die. Goon Squad, they sacrificed a mid laner for a massive team fight win, and they're going to start to put the damage in these structures. And what only a few minutes ago felt like we were praising LFT for doing a really good job at giving themselves an opportunity to get back into the series, now they're on the back foot yet again. Matrix Senpai, though, he can potentially look to secure this ADC as the Stand United will be funneled into Goon Master just to keep him alive, and Matrix will be happy just to get that. Flash was committed, though, for that. So he won't have that in the next fight in order to try and get on top of some of those carries, but he does have Ghost. So remember that. Look for that in this next team fight whenever these teams try and contest for a couple things. This next neutral objective, which presumably will be the Dragon, because I don't think either team wants to try and take a Baron when there are multiple people up at the other team. But look for Matrix to try and use that Ghost to get on top of Goon Master. You want to shut down the Misfortune as hard as you possibly can in these team fights, because the longer he has on that backside, playing front to back to just pump out damage, the harder it's going to be for LFT to try and sustain and win fights. And they would like to get themselves to drag point as well, give them an opportunity to get back in this game. As the gold lead has started to balloon here. Baron not started up. They're just kind of hovering around it right now, trying to see if they can get anybody to step forward. As Flame Dude does spot out Matrix Senpai. The Blast Gun's going to get popped. No one over-positioning just yet. Matrix, though, may have found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Is going to use the Ghost to get out, and now that's a team fight summoner that he doesn't have to get on top of Goon Master. That means it's going to be much harder to lock down Misfortune. Matrix, he's going to channel the ulti. He wants to try and knock down Shin to make sure that they don't have any front line. It's a trade of ultimates, but that ult is going to start to run down. Oh, the bullet time interrupted, and oh, Watermelon, he's flying past the multiple members of his team, trying to get on top of this Lucian, manages to secure him, but isn't able to survive. And Matrix, did find himself on the backside of that fight, was able to get another kill. But meanwhile, though, Carcancer just putting damage to these structures. And now, as long as Goon can kind of stop these recalls, which they're not going to be able to do, and Carcancer will be able to put the damage into this base. He's spamming the Dank Pingu. And he will be at least picking up one inhibitor here. And there was a lot going on in that fight. Yeah, Because Matrix Senpai originally looked like he was caught out in the wrong place at the wrong time, but then just manages to run right back in with the Ghost and get on top of low-key Fields, just trying to burst that Shin down to make sure that they didn't have any front line for what might have been a potential Baron take. But then that fight got messy because then as Goon Master tried to use the bullet time onto multiple people, it got interrupted by the Glacial Fissure. And then, of course, Killer Watermelon went flying out like a banshee across the entire fight looking for someone else. Trying to potentially get onto that Trundle. So that kind of looked kind of funny. It's just like you see him just zoom by like, hey, buddy, I need help down here. And he's like, nah, fam, I got to go get this troll. Speaking of troll, Lowlife trying to prove that he's not trolling right now in this positioning. Ooh, follow over. Manages to get on the top of Cross Furies. Meanwhile, though, a couple kills traded across. Car Cancer picking up that kill on a Jackdaw Ripper. And now the Nocturne's involved himself. And everyone's running for their lives. Matrix Senpai just going to be killed over. It's an ace for Goon Squad. That may be all they need. It might just be the GGs coming out here as they're going to march these waves into the turret. Matrix, or sorry, kill one of them. Can afford to eat a couple turret shots, but he doesn't want to eat too many. And the respawn timers are somewhat long. Jackdaw River is going to be the closest up. But it's 15 seconds. 15 seconds is plenty of time for Goon Squad to end this game, and that's in fact what they're going to do. They don't even need the Baron this time. They're just going to knock down these structures. They're going to knock down the Nexus. Goon Squad. A nice 2-0 victory over LFT. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am with a victorious member of the Goon Squads. I'm with the mid laner. How are you feeling, man, Carson? What's going through your mind?
I'm feeling great. You know, I know we only won because Huli, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, explain that to the fans that may not understand that reference.
Well, Huli and I have a great bond, and we cheer each other on throughout every single match. And he was hate watching Goon Master, but he was supporting me, and that's why we won.
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see the friendly support between players across teams, even though Huli and his team may not be having such a good time right now. It's good that they can at least cheer on somebody, you know?
It's true.
All right, so let's talk about the games. Let's talk about your performance. So you played the Ari in that first game, but then you played the Vladimir in the second game. Walk me through y'all's draft intentions on the first one. Y'all had two fairly difficult to execute compositions, I think. Like plenty of tools and stuff to get the job done, but definitely like a higher skill threshold in terms of like how those compositions need to work. So walk me through y'all's draft mindset.
Well, for the first one, we decided to first pick Renekton because their mid laner plays Renekton mid. And then, so we took the Renekton so he couldn't play it, and they didn't ban Yasuo, so we got Renekton and Yasuo. And then they didn't ban Kai'Sa for some reason, so obviously Tyler crushed with that character.
Yeah.
And Reese also got Thresh, and that was his main too. So it was kind of just all around the board. We all got characters we know how to play, so it was pretty, you know. It was a good draft.
Tell me about having the Thresh in that composition, because this is a champion that receives a lot of criticism when it gets played in terms of, that people say, well, it's a feast or famine champion because if you're not really good on it, then it becomes difficult to win in the mid to late game. And, there are other champions that get just as good at kit. But, he did a really, really good job of piloting that champion. So I'm curious of your thoughts about that.
We all knew that Reese is crazy good at Thresh. That's Flame Dude's name. Yeah. But we all knew he was crazy good at Thresh. Nautilus is a better character overall. I wanted him to play Nautilus, but it was picked. But he's good at Thresh. We knew he'd do fine. He usually does. So.
Game number 2, you were a big part of your team's success. You became that split push threat and equal to the Trundle. And I'm curious, was that your intention, or was that just kind of how the game developed?
That was my intention. I watched this video a long time ago about how to play Vladimir, and he said, just keep split pushing no matter what. If your team is losing hard, no matter what, get gold, get minions, and you can 1v5. So I was like, you know what? Might as well. And so I just kept split pushing. That's all I do when I play Vladimir.
Is that a champion that you typically like to play in that matchup, or was it just that was where the draft took you?
Well, they banned Silas, and I couldn't get Yasuo, so that's my third main. So yeah.
Oh, exposing the mains list. You want to tell everybody else what else you play, and just expose all your draft secrets here on stream for everybody to see?
I play a little bit of Ezreal sometimes too. Echo. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Walk me through what y'all's intentions are for the season. So it's nice to start off with a with a 1-0 start, a clean 2-0. a fairly convention fashion. I think there were some ugly moments in that game too, where y'all could probably go back and we probably shouldn't have done some of those things. But without looking too much into that right now, I mean, how are y'all feeling about your chances in this season? It's very early for you guys, but pretty good feeling that you guys will make it to playoffs, or do y'all anticipate some challenges?
Personally, I don't think we're gonna lose a single game.
Oh,
I don't think we're gonna drop a single match the entire way through. I think we're gonna flawless victory all of it.
All right, mods, clip that, please, and we will post that to social media immediately, so that way next week when they lose, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so interesting. So you guys feel that y'all are strong enough to not drop a single series. It's a lot of games to play.
It's true. I think Goon Master is the highest rank in the division, so I think if we lose, it's kind of embarrassing.
Interesting. Oh, so to lose, it would have to be like something going wrong for you guys. So you're saying it's not someone else winning, it's you guys losing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
I mean, realistically, I don't think I could ever lose.
Okay. All right. I like the confidence. We'll see if those become tragic last words or if they become portents of a prophecy for how the season will go. Well, Carson, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I want you to go celebrate with your team. Thank you so much for giving us the time for an interview. And if you want to shout anybody out, if you want to give thanks to anybody or just, style on somebody, the platform is yours.
Yeah, I got to shout out Huli. Again, he's the GOAT, the absolute GOAT. I want Huli to win every single game, and nobody can beat him in the top lane. I promise. Nobody can. He's truly the best.
Except when they do.
Well, it's a fluke every time. He's sick.
Well, you know what the most common fish in the sea is?
What is that?
A fluke.
No. Yep.
Alrighty. All right. Well, Carson, thank you so much for the interview. Appreciate your time. Congratulations on y'all's win, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.